Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of your favorite English bulletin, The News. We are broadcasting live from Theatre Studios here in Lomé. Here are the headlines. The Council of Ministers met this Wednesday, April 1, 2026 in Lomé under the chairmanship of His Excellency For Esezunanya Singbe, President of the Council. In addition to adopting administrative reforms as well as new tests on competition and nuclear safety, several other key decisions were taken, and we'll bring you the details in today's edition. Togo has been recognized as one of the most reform-driven nations in West Africa and, of course, Sub-Saharan Africa, according to the latest Be Ready 2025 report. Under the leadership of the President of the Council, the country continues to distinguish itself through significant improvements in its business environment. In today's edition, we go into the depths and impacts of these reforms reshaping the country's economic trajectory. Stay with us. All the details coming up shortly. And yes, it is always a pleasure to have you join us. From strengthening consumer protection to anticipating global economic shocks, Togo is accelerating its reform agenda. At the Council of Ministers meeting on April 1, 2026, the government unveiled a series of strategic decisions aimed at modernizing the economy, improving border governance, and safeguarding national stability in an increasingly uncertain global context. The details with Gabriel Ayena.
Modernizing the economy and strengthening public action were the main focus on the Council of Ministers meeting held on the 1st of April 2026. Among the key decisions was the adoption of a draft law on competition and consumer protection. The aim of this legislation is to align the legal framework with new economic realities shaped by sub-regional and continental regulations, curb anti-competitive practices, and ensure consumer protection. The government also approved Togo's accession to 2 international nuclear conventions aimed at strengthening safety, preventing risks, and better defining liability in the event of an accident. On the administrative front, several decrees were adopted. To start with, the creation of a unit tasked with continuing rural border reforms following the conclusion of the Millennium Challenge Cooperation Program. In addition, a new Togolese border authority has been established to improve coordination in the management of border areas and prevent disputes related to their delimitation. Another measure includes setting the allowances for canton chiefs for the year 2026 in accordance with the law, as well as the official recognition of 15 new traditional leaders. The Council also addressed infrastructure modernization with the upcoming launch of a one-stop mapping platform designed to better coordinate public works and prevent damage to electricity, water, and gas networks. On the economic front, the government stated that it is closely monitoring the impact of the conflict in the Middle East. According to the authorities, raising maritime transport and energy costs could have repercussions on prices and commercial activity.
And indeed, Togo is rising as a reform champion in Africa, backed by bold structural changes and a clear strategic vision under the leadership of the President of the Council For Esezunanya Singbe. The country is steadily transforming its business environment. These reforms have earned the country top regional rankings and attracted growing investor confidence. This report provides further insight into the impact and scope of these reforms. Kwesi.
Togo's strong performance in the Business Ready 2025 reports confirms the relevance and effectiveness of the structural reform policy implemented in recent years. These reforms bear the hallmark of a visionary leader, the president of the council for Esosimna Nyasingbe, who introduced the innovative idea of establishing a dedicated unit to improve the country's business environment. Significant progress has been made across key sectors, reinforcing Togo's position as an attractive and reform-driven economic destination in Africa. Ranking first in West Africa and third in Sub-Saharan Africa is no coincidence. It reflects sustained effort and strategic direction aimed at improving business climate and promoting private sector development. Key areas assessed include business creation and establishment, public utilities, employment, financial services, efficiency, international trade, taxation, dispute resolution, market competition, and solvency. Each of these 10 areas is evaluated based on 3 fundamental pillars: regulatory framework, public services, and operational efficiency. A closer look at the indicators shows that Togo excels at the Business Formalities Center. 14,202 companies were registered in 2025. At the same time, improvements in the tax framework and actions led by the Togolese Revenue Office, OTR, boosted tax revenue mobilization. By the third quarter of 2025, revenues reached 830.5 billion CFA francs compared to 786.3 billion CFA francs during the same period in 2024, representing a 5.6% increase. Clear evidence of progress in fiscal governance. These reforms have also enhanced Togo's attractiveness, encouraging both foreign and domestic direct investment. The Adetikope Industrial Platform, PIA, a flagship example of public-private partnership, illustrates this momentum, hosting several major companies. The port of Lome, backbone of the national economy, has benefited from modernized infrastructure and progressive digitalization of services, making it a leading logistic hub in West Africa. Through this vision, the President of the Council has strengthened Togo's geostrategic position as both a financial and logistic hub. Lome, the capital, is increasingly recognized as a host city for major international events focused on business financing. Both domestically and internationally, this leadership reflects a firm commitment to more efficient financial resource mobilization and better project structuring, positioning the private sector as a strategic partner in implementing the national development strategy.
And based on these advancements in its business climate, Togo hosts its first ever country RICS conference this Thursday, organized by Bloomfield Investments Corporation. This major annual event evaluates economic attractiveness and investments risks through a detailed report analyzing the strengths and weaknesses of national economies and their financial systems. Awepanuchigan tells us more.
The Adetikope Industrial Platform, with its wide range of industrial opportunities, the autonomous port of Lome, an emerging major deep-water maritime hub, and bold economic reforms shaping a forward-looking Togo, are among the key strengths highlighted in Bloomfield's upcoming economic report on Togo. This report will be presented during the first country risk conference in Togo, organized by the financial rating agency Bloomfield Investments Corporation. This landmark event, the 10th of its kind in Africa, will provide a clear mapping of investment risk in the country. In recent years, Togo has experienced sustained investment momentum focused on industrial transformation and private sector development, which accounted for more than 76% of GDP in 2024. The country also attracted foreign direct investment estimated at $34 million in 2023, Beyond being an opportunity, the conference serves as a platform to strengthen economic governance. For 19 years, Bloomfield has worked to enhance the continent's economic attractiveness and resilience. More than 300 participants, both in person and online, are expected in Lomé this April 2nd to advance Togo's economic sovereignty and independence.
Moving on to other stories, the Minister of Health recently visited the University Teaching Hospital CHU campus in Lomé to assess the progress of ongoing works. The visit aimed to ensure the effectiveness of the construction and renovation efforts, which are expected to enhance healthcare quality and capacity for the population. Kwesigle reports.
The Lomé University Teaching Hospital, CHU campus, was the first stop for the Minister of Health during a field visit. The building under construction will house emergency services, provide more working space, and improve patients' reception. On site, discussions with hospital officials and the construction company allowed the minister to assess the progress of the work and ensure compliance with standards and guidelines. The objective is to guarantee quality, affordable, and accessible healthcare for all, in line with the vision of the President of the Council. The visit continued to the rehabilitation and reinforcement site under the Ellipse project, where work is already well advanced. Equipment installation is underway across various departments, including intensive care, medical imaging, inpatient services, operating theaters, and dental units. The minister received detailed briefings on all aspects contributing to effective patient care, ensuring that facility meets international standards with state-of-art equipment. The visit concluded with recommendations to the teams who are working relentlessly to deliver the project as scheduled.
And as part of activities marking International Women's Rights Day, the Ministry of Health, through its gender unit, organized an awareness campaign this Monday, March 30, focused on cancers affecting women, especially breast cancer. The objective was to promote early screening and strengthen stakeholder commitment to better prevention and treatment. Viewer discretion is advised. I hope you go.
According to the Ministry of Health, cervical and breast cancers are major causes of morbidity among women, largely due to lack of awareness, misinformation, and limited financial resources. To address this, the ministry's gender unit brought together female health workers, community leaders from Adetikope, and experts for a day of reflection, awareness, and commitment. Early detection remains key with timely diagnosis and proper treatment. Cervical chances significantly improve. Health experts emphasize the importance of recognizing warning signs such as changes in breast shape or skin, menstrual irregularities, unusual vaginal discharge, or pain during intercourse. Health experts urge women to be attentive to their bodies and seek medical care promptly when abnormalities arise. The initiative was praised by the Secretary General of the Ministry, who highlighted that every cancer detected and treated early represents a life saved. This Awareness Day forms part of activities marking International Women's Rights Day.
And in a context of strengthening intra-African trade, very small and medium-sized enterprises in Togo are preparing to access new markets. Through this training in Lomé, they would better understand certification procedures under the ECOWAS and WEMU region. This initiative, led by the Ministry of Industry, aims to facilitate the free movement of goods and improve business competitiveness. Kwesi Gwe tells us more.
Producing better and, above all, selling beyond borders. That is the core objective of this training session for very small and medium-sized industries. Over 3 days, participants are being trained on requirements for obtaining ECOWAS and YMO certification, preferential trade regimes, and rules of origin, essential tools for accessing regional markets. Certification allows companies to benefit from the free movement of goods. Through this initiative, the Ministry of Industry aims to help entrepreneurs prepare compliant application files and better understand product specifications. In a regional space where free trade is a priority, GIZ is supporting the government to strengthen the competitiveness of Togolese SMEs and boost intra-African trades.
Every day, road accidents caused by fires are recorded, yet many of these incidents could be quickly contained with the proper use of a fire extinguisher. To address this issue, the National Union of Road Transporters of Togo trained drivers and transport operators on the importance of having and using a fire extinguisher, and especially having it in their vehicles. Alifano has more.
Attention, fire, but no panic. This was a live demonstration on how to use a fire extinguisher. Drivers and transport operators watched attentively. While many carry extinguishers in their vehicles, few know how to use them effectively. Yet a simple action can contain a fire before emergency services arrive. To improve passenger and vehicle safety, the National Union of Road Transporters of Togo, UNATROT, has made this a priority. As a part of the initiative, about 50 fire extinguishers were distributed to drivers, a gesture warmly welcomed by beneficiaries. Following Greater Lomé, the awareness campaign will be extended nationwide.
Brings us to the end of today's edition. Thanks to my wonderful team and to you, cherished viewers, for watching. Stay tuned to our channel for more updates, and remember that you are as big as you think you are. Have a wonderful evening. See you next time. Goodbye.